let's face it, we all kind of know what it is that we should and what we shouldn't be eating. It's not like we should ask ourselves, should I be eating more spinach and should I be eating less ice cream? The truth is that we already kind of know. But did you know that what you should be eating is actually only one part to you achieving your healthy weight loss goals? Today we are going to be breaking down the 5 biggest diet problems that we face whenever we want to change our body, lose weight, and get healthier. So sit back, relax, and hit the subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So today I thought I'd make a recipe of my favorite blueberry muffins, and while I'm making this recipe, I thought I'd talk to you about the 5 different diet problems that we all seem to kind of face, and some solutions to those problems that will help us achieve success in our health goals. So without further ado, let's get into cooking some blueberry muffins. So most people think that when they decide that they want to go on this health journey, a lot of times it's to lose weight or get off of a certain medication or those types of things, which is awesome. And a lot of times what we think is that having the perfect meal plan or finding the perfect diet is the thing that's going to be the key to our success. But most times that's actually not the key to our success at all. If anything, it's more of a downfall to our success, having to go by these structured rules every single day. And if we don't meet those rules, turns into failure, then it's not very successful for us. Like I said in the introduction, it actually doesn't have very much to do with what you actually eat. Let's talk about diet problem number 1. Okay, I have a large bowl in here, and this is generally where I'm going to put my wet ingredient. Diet problem number 1 is actually that we stress or emotional eat. And I can say that I am definitely in that group of stress eating and emotional eating. Yesterday I was trying to film this video and just nothing was going right to me whatsoever. And what did I do? But I sat down, took a breath, and proceeded to eat 3 cookies that my daughter made. Did I want the cookies? Did I care about the cookies? No, not at all. Was that emotional eating? Yes, at its finest. The thing is that we have to recognize what stress eating is and what emotional eating is. If we can recognize those triggers and what puts us in that state of where we feel like we want to go to food for comfort, then we can start to put a plan into place to say, okay, I recognize what this is. I know that I feel uncomfortable, and how can I not use food as the thing that I go to? So yesterday, when things weren't like working out for me at all, I was just like, you know what? Let's just take a break. So what I actually did was I went out to my garden that I'm starting first time this year. I've never done a garden before. I'm so excited about this. Hopefully it'll grow. Anyways, and I went out there and I just worked, and I was cranky and I was irritable, but by the end of it, I had this sense of accomplishment instead of this sense of failure. And by the time that I got back into the house, I didn't have that desire to want to eat more things. So if we look at the triggers that trigger us to have these stress or emotional eating, sometimes it's, talking to your boss, your kids irritate the hell out of you. Whatever it is, if we could just notice those things, name those emotions, then maybe what we can do is start devising a plan, stop those emotions, stop those triggers, so that we don't actually go and run to the fridge for food for comfort. All right, so we're gonna get into it right now, and that is with butter and sugar. So I need 7 tablespoons or 3.5 ounces of butter. I always have a towel and an apron beside me because I'm just kind of messy. The next ingredient that we're going to need is 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So you might be asking, well, Angela, what is it that you know about these proven scientific ways in order to help you with your diet problem? Well, the truth is that very, very, very little people actually know that I had a extremely short career as a personal trainer, like a week and a half. Back in 2017, kind of reached my peak when it came to cooking, and I noticed that my local gym was hiring for personal trainers. My brother is a personal trainer, so I kind of talked to him, and he's like, well, you know what, you really like helping people, you should give it a try. So I left my very stable position at the restaurant that I was working in, and I went to this personal training job, and it was so stressful. It was stressful because, okay, I want you to go talk to this person who you don't know, you have never established a relationship with them whatsoever, and I want you to make an appointment with them, and I want you to sell them $4,000 worth of personal training for the year. That is the goal. And I was like, okay, if I'm a person who's like working out at the gym and I have somebody approach me and say, hey, do you want a personal trainer? It's just going to cost you $4,000. The chances of me saying yes are pretty much like none at all. So I didn't particularly enjoy how they were like marketing to people. Like my approach was always like, let's just like talk, build a relationship and building a rapport. So these were the things that like fundamentally inside of my heart, I was like, anyways, a whole week and a half went by and I was like, no, I can't do this. But while I was doing the personal training for the very short time, I was always very, very, very interested in nutrition. So I was actually taking a course through Precision Nutrition, which I'm not sure if a lot of people know about it, but they're a huge, huge, huge nutrition company. They do a lot of client study-based testing. This recipe is not the same as what I'm using for the book. It's kind of just like my guideline. Like I said, I don't really follow recipes. I'm going to also add in my milk liquid as well. There we go. And now we have all of the wet ingredients. I'm going to list a couple of links in the description below for you of articles that are really great to go with these here tips. All right, we got our wet done. So my flour is 2 1/4 cups of flour. It says white flour, but I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to go with a cup of white. I'm going to sift my flour. So tip number 2, I don't plan my meals. And guess what? I am pretty much guilty for this. Like, I always thought like, if I just follow this plan, they've given it to me. Here it is. Everything is here. If I just buy this food and follow this plan, then everything is going to work out and it's going to be easy peasy. And the truth is that, it sucked. Or I sucked. Maybe it was me, maybe it wasn't the plan. I don't know. I'm not somebody who can say, okay, today I'm going to eat this, this, and this, which I'm okay with. But in 6 days, if I don't want to eat chicken and asparagus for lunch and salmon and sweet potato for supper because I already ate it for the past 3 days, then my meal plan has failed me. All right, number 2. Whole wheat flour. So the question is, how can we make eating healthier easier? Let's break it down. Let's get like super simple. Well, one of the things that they say for us to eat healthier is to add more. Can I hear it? What is that? Vegetables, right? Vegetables into our diet. And a lot of people kind of scrunch up their faces and be like, not for me. I hate vegetables. If you really truly want to actually eat a healthier diet, you are going to have to start incorporating more vegetables in your diet. And now a 1/4 cup of oats. I don't know why I put those in the sifter. They're not going to go through. 1/4 cup of oats. There we go. All done. So yeah, so how can we start eating more vegetables? It doesn't really matter what vegetables you eat. If you only like carrots and turnip, probably not turnip. If you only like carrots and cucumbers, fine, whatever. Let's start there. Let's start with the 1 or 2 vegetables that you like. If you like lots of vegetables, awesome. So what you can do is say, all right, I'm going to take and I'm going to start incorporating 1 or maybe 2 vegetables at every one of my meals. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? That's it. 1 vegetable. We're going to do that for a couple of weeks, say 2 weeks. See how it goes. Was it too hard? Was it super easy and you didn't even think about it? If it was too hard, fine. Then maybe we're going to start with 1 meal every single day. Let's break it down really slowly. All right, so we're going to mix this around and we're going to add some salt. So yeah, so we're going to incorporate 1 or 2 vegetables into every meal that we eat. Do it for a couple of weeks and just see how it goes. I'm not going to measure my salt. I'm just going to put a little bit in, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. I don't feel like measuring right now. 4 teaspoons of baking powder. That one is really important. Oh shit, I only have baking soda. 1 second. All right, there. Do you guys do that? Do you mix up baking powder and baking soda all the time, even though the boxes look totally different? I do. I don't know why. So yeah, so like for me, I kind of have a hard time putting like a lot of vegetables into my breakfast. It's kind of just not something that I want or feel like. So yeah, so today I had a smoothie which had mango and strawberries, protein powder and Greek yogurt, and some oat milk. So what I decided to do was add in a handful of spinach. It mostly just changed the color. It really didn't change the flavor of it. So that was kind of easy. Yesterday I had some scrambled eggs and oats, and so I put a little bit of fried tomatoes on the side. But some days I'll just have toast or whatever, and I don't want to have a piece of vegetable with it. No big deal. When I go to have a snack, I'll put a vegetable with it. And it doesn't matter if it's raw or cooked. You got to experiment with what it is that works for you. All right, 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And then I want to put in a little bit of cinnamon as well. I don't measure that either. Don't feel like it. All right, everything is mixed into here. I like making muffins. They're so easy. So we're going to take the dry ingredients and add them into my wet ingredients. All right, I'm going to just mix this around until it is combined. All right, now that this is mixed in, we're going to add in our blueberries. I have a 1.5 cups of blueberries here, but I also have a 1/2 cup of cranberries as well because I like blueberries and cranberries. That's really weird. I put cranberries in and I don't know where they went to. Okay, now that everything has been mixed in here, so I have I decided to go with a little mini muffin tin. I just sprayed it with some cooking spray. If you don't have a mini muffin tin, no worries. Just use the regular 12 standard one. I mean, 40 mini muffins. So when this recipe would have had 12 in it, I actually made 40 mini. So I made actually 20 muffins instead of 12 muffins. So therefore I've taken the fat, the sugar, everything, and I actually made it spread out. And so if I ate 2 muffins at a time, I'm actually getting less calories. So I'm gonna put these in the oven and then I'm gonna meet you back for tip number 4. Tip number 3, eat slowly. No matter if you have your veggies, of which I have some yellow peppers, some cucumber, and some grapes, to some goldfish crackers, or your favorite sea salt and caramel chocolate ice cream. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you eat, this is the number 1 tip that you can start with here, is eating slowly. When you eat slowly, you listen to your body's triggers. It tells you whether or not you A, like the food. I don't care what it is. When you start eating slowly, your body is going to actually tell you when it's full. There is a little signal deep down in this little belly right here. There is a signal that says, hi, hello, I'm full, you can stop eating now. And we have been suppressing it for years. So let's eat slowly and you are going to see the hugest difference in your health. Okay? All right, now on to tip number 4. Tip number 4, guys. This is what I have in my closet, my pantry right now, okay? I have a serious sweet tooth or salt cravings, and I cannot get enough of chips, chocolate, candy bar, whatever. Well, right now I have Pringles Groove in here, and I also have some Pringles dill pickle chips as well. These are the things that are like really in my house. I live with my boyfriend as well as our 2 children, and I have these temptations all the time. They're always here, and guess what? I actually won't even eat either one of these here. They're not really my thing. I don't particularly like them, but I did like the Ruffles that I ate yesterday. But I ate them using tip number 3. I ate them slowly, and instead of just diving deep down into that big, huge family-sized bag and just munching mindlessly, I actually put some in a bowl. You know, those things, we have them. And I slowly ate them, a chip or 2 at a time, where I actually tasted them, enjoyed the saltiness, and then I realized, oh God, these are like really salty and they're really kind of greasy and I kind of don't feel like having any more. So I went from generally I'd eat like a whole bag, which was like, yeah, mission accomplished, to like, oh, I had a bowl and I'm perfectly satisfied and I have no desire to have any more tonight or any today. Like I have no interest in it whatsoever. If these foods cause you issues, like these used to be like, these were my trigger food. Like if they were in the house, I knew that they were there. I could never forget that they were there and they must be consumed quickly, only to never eat them again. Like they were like my baby. And I'm not like that anymore because I've learned these actionable steps to stop me, to break these triggers and to break these cycles that I've been having, that I had for years and years and years. I've broken them. And now these can sit in the closet for like a month and I'm like, meh. And maybe I'll have some and maybe I won't. They don't have the power over me anymore. I don't give them the power over me anymore. They're there, they're fine, whatever. Now, on to tip number 5. Do you know what's really funny? I'm realizing with all of these tips, I'm like, I actually already have all of the supplies for all of these tips. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Tip number 5, I eat too much takeout. Can I get a guilty in here? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have time to cook, and that's fine. Okay, but there are so many different options out there for you that you could get a meal that is actually decently healthy. If you don't like to cook, you don't like shopping, there's lots of different meal prep places, in the box cooking subscriptions, food subscriptions that you can buy, and where they will send the food directly to your door. So say that you eat out lunch every single day of the week. So how can you choose a better option? Instead of going to the drive-through, maybe you could go to like the deli at the grocery store where you could get some vegetables, some fruits, and maybe a nice sandwich. Maybe we could have a compromise like that. Maybe you could get a salad instead of fries. Maybe. Or maybe you could decide that, hey, I'm cooking dinner on Tuesday night. I can make a little extra and I can have it for leftovers on Wednesday for lunch. All of these small little changes will help you along your path. So just break it down. It's not about changing everything all at once, because doing that just leads to setting yourself up for failure. If you change one little thing and keep it that way for like 2 weeks and you find it was consistent and it was easy and it was a no-brainer, then that's a friggin' A++. Like that's a huge accomplishment there. That's something that you can continually implement into your regime without it causing too much havoc. And it's something that you're going to be more successful with. And in return, it's going to help you along this journey. Just think of it that way. What is it that I can do this week? Now, I told you that I had 2 other bonus tips, so let's get into those. As promised, I have 2 bonus tips. Bonus tip number 1, all about the gym. And bonus tip number 2, all about tonic. I think it's hilarious that I actually have a shirt that I wear to the gym that's called Gym and Tonic. I think I bought it for like $5. Okay, anyways, bonus tip number 1, the gym. There's this preconceived notion that when you decide that you want to work out, or when you decide that you want to lose weight and get fit and healthy and active, that you have to go to the gym. And that's couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, yes, I do go to the gym, which I haven't gone there since July of last year, so almost a year ago. But I did. I went to the gym for a really long time. Did it help me achieve some of my weight loss goals? Yes, absolutely. Did I need to go to the gym? No, absolutely not. So what I do now, actually, I have a little bit of equipment here that I'll show you just at the house. Depending on the season, the equipment that I choose, I change a lot. So a lot of times in the winter, I have Eddie, I have to walk him. So you get a pretty friggin' decent workout whenever you're walking the dog, because you're walking them in the snow. And if you do trails, it's even harder. So that's a really good cardio workout. But if you want to increase the cardio, I have what's called it's kind of heavy. I have a weight vest here. This is what it looks like. And you like attach it to yourself. I'll put it on right now while you're walking. And this weight vest is 12 pounds, which is not huge, but huge enough. Like I notice a substantial difference in how fast I walk and how winded I get. So I use this. There's also ankle weights that I have right here. I think these are like 2.5 pounds each. No, get darker colored ones, because these get like really stained and nasty when you're walking. So don't go with like the light pink or the bright blue like me. These were like $10 off of Amazon. A skipping rope. I bought this the other day. I haven't used it yet because I have a sore foot. Don't know what's going on there, but we'll figure that out. But a skipping rope, that's always fun. Something that I also bought, and I didn't buy these things all at once. I bought them as I wanted to change up my fitness routine. So instead of going to the gym and spending that time driving to the gym, 15 minutes to the gym, and driving back 15 minutes from home, that's 30 minutes right there, just in commute time, I decided to do workouts at home. Recently, I've been doing a 25-day challenge where I'm trying to strengthen my abs and also shape my butt a little bit more, because my booty, I would like to have it a little bit firmer. So yeah, but last year, I think it was last year, before I left the gym, I went from like 3 days a week being really consistent into 5 days a week really, really hardcore. And that was really detrimental to me. I shouldn't have done that. I had a lot of injuries. I had a lot of stiffness. And so I started on the path of yoga. And if you guys have never, ever, ever tried yoga, or you've tried yoga and it's just like, you don't connect with it whatsoever. I never ever did either. But the person, I found a yoga on YouTube actually. Her name was Yoga with Adrienne. And she was just, oh my God, her voice, everything. She was just exactly who you wanted her to be. She was just helpful, and she didn't flow through things and assume that you knew things. She just walked you through the steps really slowly. And so I loved her. I did a 30-day challenge with her. When I was in Costa Rica, I actually was doing yoga out on my balcony, which was hot, but it was so frigging awesome to go and do that there. And it actually helped me with my plantar fasciitis, which I have had to deal with for like years upon years now, and having really bad feet. So to be able to not have foot pain on a daily basis was just phenomenal. It doesn't matter what it is that you do, as long as you start to move your body. Do something that you enjoy. I mean, the gym isn't for everybody. On to bonus tip number 2. I drink too much. Well, I can say that I actually don't drink too much. Alcohol and me just doesn't agree. I mean, I drank a lot when I was a teenager and in my 20s and stuff like that there, but I get really nasty bad migraines and alcohol doesn't agree with me. But other people really love alcohol, and that's perfectly fine. But maybe you could lessen your alcohol. You know, they say the thing of don't drink your calories when you're trying to eat better, and it's true. Don't. If you can help it, try not to drink your calories. But if you are going to drink, like say if you enjoy a couple of glasses of wine at night whenever you come home from work and stuff, it's your de-stressor of it. Maybe you could try and say, okay, you know what? Instead of 3 glasses of wine, I'm going to have 2 glasses of wine. Maybe you only want to have 1 glass of wine. Maybe the thing where we stop and slowly eat, we could slowly drink and recognize what happens. If you're on this journey, this path to trying to eat better, get healthier, move more, and alcohol is one of those things that you really enjoy, that's fine. Don't cut them out. But how is it that you can lessen them? How can you lessen the amount of consumption that you have? The muffins are all done, and this is what they look like here. They're tiny, but they're perfect. They're a great little size. I'm gonna have a little bite. I like adding the cranberry because it gives it that little tartness. And then you get the sweetness from the blueberries as well. So I like this combination. The recipe will be linked in the description below. I will have all of the links to all of these tips that I've given you, as well as some really great reading articles. You can kind of see a little bit more about precision nutrition, the path that I went through. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much, and please have a beautiful day.